Look, come and look at it. Come and look at it. Hey, Shalom, Akim, Shalom.
Shalom.
You see? Looks good, man.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, get up in there, Ak, yeah. All right, hey, Shalom, Akim. Want to start off by saying all praises unto Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Rakach Wadash. Double honors unto our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom, and shalom to the hopeful elect Akim that are teaching this word. So as you can see here, brothers, you know, we're pretty much by the Duke of Wellington's arch, basically. We're in so if you see here, you see the statue of the Duke of Wellington up there. We're in the city of London, basically. That's the statue of the Duke of Wellington up there. And over there's the arch that they built to commemorate his victories over the French, basically, over Napoleon, pretty much, yeah. And over here is his residence. If you can see here, they say, well, this is what they said, that the Duke of Wellington lived in this area, basically. This was his London residence. Yeah. But you see, the brothers are here. You know, we're gonna bring some scriptures out, and pretty much what we're kind of thinking about is basically behind the scenes, you know, who funds these guys, because this is all up here. They got this great great arch built to him with Nike, the goddess of victory, up there, yeah. Right? But behind the scenes, who funds these guys, basically? Who funded the Duke of Wellington? Who funds their armies? Who funds the wars? The international banking families, primarily the Red Shield family, basically. All right, they funded the machines for war, basically. All right, and Nathan Rothschild was a massive part in funding the Duke of Wellington. But you know, the average a person that might know some history will look at this. Look how great Britain is. We defeated the French and all that. But you don't even know your country's ruled by Amalekites. We defeated the French. Are they great? Go on, speak, brothers. Get it.
To even add on to your point.
Yeah.
That point is mentioned in the Rothschild movie.
Mm-hmm.
You know, remember when the Duke of Wellington finally came back from his battle?
Yeah.
And then outside the window, there were people that was chanting his name and giving him praise.
Yeah.
And the Duke of Wellington said in the video, these people are thanking me, but really, like, they should be thanking you, Lord Rothschild.
Yeah, and he called him Lord, the money masters, man. Yeah, but you know, the point is, as well, what you're saying, why he did that is because they prefer secrecy.
They prefer
their things. Read it. Let's read it. Because that's who rules this place, brother. Go on, brother.
I have it here.
Go on, mate.
This is Psalm 64 from the top, and it says, "Hear my voice, O power. In my prayer, preserve my life from fear of the enemy."
Yeah.
Yeah, so you got to understand, Israelites in this truth, we have enemies, man.
Yeah.
The other nations are not our friends. We're not supposed to be buddy with them, man. They are enemies. Verse 2, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked.
Yep.
You know, what secret counsel?
Yeah.
The secret societies. You know, the Illuminatis, the Skull of Bowls, the Rothschilds, the elite families, man.
The money masters,
money
man.
Masters, man.
Go on, Shaq. Go on, that. Go on, that.
And you even have a term called what? All wars are bankers' wars.
Yes.
Like, and if you go into like history, like, and research, you'd actually know that like, in terms of how the Duke of Wellington won this battle, the Rothschild played a major part, like in financing his troops.
Yeah.
Because really, the Rothschilds and bankers got upset at Napoleon because he didn't take their loans to finance his troops, right? Whereby
well, he didn't really want to fuck with the bankers.
Exactly.
Because he wanted France's freedom, basically. Because there's even writings of Napoleon basically wanting his own banks and all that. Exactly. He didn't want the backing of the bankers, so to speak. And there was a lot of Edomites like that throughout the history. They know that because why? Because they know that they're no good, man. All right, they know that they're no good, basically. Yeah. And even aristocracy throughout Europe, they said that about the Rothschild family. They said there's quotes on different aristocracy saying they're basically masters of corruption.
Yeah.
Because once they get up in your shit, you know, and because that's what they've done. It's not just go on, read it. Because I'm remembering information, but it's gone.
I have information to add on to what you said. Yeah. Because I have a quote from the book, the creature of Jekyll
Island.
Right?
Yeah.
Where
because can I say this? because you see this arc here. This is a big a commemoration to him over here. He's on a horse. That's the Duke of Wellington right there. What was his name? Arthur
Wellesley.
Born in Ireland. Where was he born in Ireland?
Yeah.
He's a general basically and a prime minister of this country. Of England, right? But you see here they got a horse, him on a horse, you know, exalted. They've got an ark built for him, a triumphal ark built for him over there.
Goddess
you know,
of Nike.
which is the goddess of victory. And the triumphal arcs always represent like Esau's wins, basically.
You can see the swords as well that they got, which we know that's the blessing of Esau.
The blessing of the Edomites. And you know what's funny? They got all of this, and you know it's funny they built that for him right across his London residence. But they got all this, but going more into it, who's over this guy really? You know?
I have a bit of information because you're speaking about how he didn't really like the bankers, right? This is from the book of the creature of Jekyll Island, on the chapter called the Rothschild formula. It says one of Napoleon's first blows against the bankers was to establish an independent Bank of France.
Yeah, because pretty much he wanted to deal with his country's own way.
Exactly.
And that's where it is. See, Esau, even these different Edomites, right? See, right now, really, even think about it like this here, England rules, Britain rules, yeah? And America is basically an extension of Britain because America hasn't been freed from Britain. Britain really rules America still, the Queen, the Crown, which really the Rothschild family, the elite families, they rule America, right? But the point what I was saying is that different Edomites now, they will go into war, but you see these Edomites, they have their own, they would want to do their things their own way. Like if Napoleon ruled, he would want to do things his own way. They're all the same people, but they have ways they want to do things. They have a different, you get me? Like the Edomites in Spain, I'll give you like an example. The Edomites in Spain, they think different to the Edomites here in England. What's touchy to Edomites here in England is not the same to the ones in Spain. They have a different mentality. So if they were ruling, it would be you know what I'm saying? You know? But we're under the British, so-called British elites. But we're really all under the Rothschild family, really. Go on,
I was going to say this point because you made me think as well. Just another example, like you've got the Edomites in Russia. They're different than the Edomites in America. You know, and that shows you that Esau's on his way down because the scriptures tell you that nation that is divided, you know, they cannot stand.
That's it,
So they're gonna head for a fall and they go infighting between themselves.
Precept.
Go ahead.
Job 9:24.
Oh, but you was reading the creature of Jekyll Island. Keep reading that.
So it says.
Let's stick to these kind of.
It says one of Napoleon's first blows against the bankers was to establish an independent Bank of France with himself as president. Because he actually saw, you know, the wicked practices that was taking place. Get countries in debt and basically have them in slavery, right? And it says, but even this bank was not trusted, and government funds were never placed into it. It was his refusal to borrow, however, that caused the most concern among the finances. Because of, like, you know what I mean? Like a perfect example is this: the actual main people that financed, you know, the Duke of Wellington was who? Nathan Rothschild. You see?
But when you go into, go on, read that. Read it.
This, So this is an article from Rothschild's archive, and it reads, Nathan Mayer Rothschild and Waterloo, and it says the part played by Nathan Mayer Rothschild between 1777 and 1836, and his brothers in helping the British government, because you know the descendants, the sons of Amschel Rothschild, you know, the first barons, the 5 sons, they all split into different lands of Europe. Some went France, you know, and Nathan went to England.
Really Nathan, see, Karl Roth, the brother, one of the 5 brothers, Karl Rothschild, he said, we owe everything to Nathan. Because Nathan was really like, he took them to another level. You know? Because after this war, they went to another level. They became super rich. And their tentacles spread even further throughout Europe. Because now, most of the aristocracy in Europe had to deal with them. They really brought out all of the high-ranking so-called lesser families, so to speak. They really over all of them. Even when you go into the, like, Tsar Nicholas was in Russia, which Tsar Nicholas was a Jake. The bankers killed him to take his gold, and that was round about not too dissimilar of times, around, I believe it was like the 1800s. So they were taking people out, bro.
Yep.
Biting them out and shit. And if you don't play ball by them, they were just murdering you, man.
Yep.
But what was we saying a minute ago? What did you mention? Yeah, go on, mention that.
So the part played by Nathan.
Nathan was really the one that took them to another level, though.
Yes.
Because even Carl Rothschild, he's quoted as saying that. He's quoted as saying, we owe everything to Nathan.
Yeah.
That the one that took the Bank of England. But go ahead.
Exactly.
I was just going to add as well, because it's well known that Nathan, he basically made a fortune. From their victory, from the the Battle of Waterloo, which this is what their victory commemorate. Basically, their victory they were celebrating. And so after that, it was well known that Nathan, he basically made a fortune.
You're right,
because he had spies on the battlefield that was feeding them information. So what he was doing was he would feed them false information that Napoleon was like won the war. So basically when I was in the stock trading, when I was trading, everyone sold all their bonds. And then he bought for cheap.
And also what he was doing as well. He was even selling showing them as if he's doing the same thing as them.
So in the Rothschild movie.
Yeah, he was selling as well. Like the rest of the traders, as if like, oh, we're about to lose the war, so to speak. But he had the inside information because he was getting that knowledge swift through Europe.
Go on.
You're gonna read
Genesis, This is the book of Genesis 3:1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord had made. And who's the serpent? Right, the spirit of the serpent. I mean, the spirit. I mean, Esau. Revelation 12 speaks about that old. Well, no, was it 12 or 20? Where it says that
20.
Old, it's 20 in it. That says the old serpent, which is the devil and Satan. That's the spirit of Esau. So what is it? It's subtle. So he's patient. So that's why we're talking about how Nathan Rothschild, and really that's like, the 19th century was called the century of the Rothschilds. Because that obviously they obviously go back to 1700s or so.
Old money.
But that's when that single act of him selling the stocks. He became rich as shit.
That was within 24 hours. That was like he got information early. It was like 1815.
He
actually Battle of Waterloo.
He got an inside scoop.
Early exclusive.
He got the information 24 hours before everyone else did. So as soon as the war won and it was confirmed he lost, the spy, ran straight back.
And that was it. Then he cleaned up.
Cleaned up.
And they carry that same spirit now, the manipulation of the media, the news and stuff like that. And when you go deep into the news, they're all owned by what? Amalek, man. Amalek owned the news, man. But anyways, let me go back to this. It says, the part played by Nathan Mayer Rothschild and his brothers in helping the British government to finance military operations against Napoleon is legendary. Nathan's London house, N.M. Rothschild.
Which there's because if you look in there, there's like a bust of him in there, like a statue of his head and that in there. That's he's legendary among that family. N.M. Rothschild, and that still stands today, man. Go on, right?
N.M. Rothschild dealt in bullion and foreign exchange.
Because and another thing you got to remember, Europe at that time as well, let's say like the Middle Ages Europe up until they implemented all these FRNs. You know how it was, people traded in gold and silver. That's how people traded. That's how kings and people traded, gold and silver. So imagine how much shit this dude hoarded. And his father, Meyer Amschel, he was big in he was obviously like he was working with the William of Hesse, the king of the Prince of Germany, and he was big in helping him move his gold throughout the country, especially when the time with Napoleon, when Napoleon was coming into power. He kicked William of Hesse off of the seats in Germany. So when he's like a king on the run, And who was helping him move gold? Maya Amschel. And I believe he even sent, there was even German gold from Germany sent to here to Nathan for him to protect those investments, basically. So they've always been trading in gold and silver and that.
Yeah, because,
you know?
because gold and silver is real money.
It's real money, bro.
Quick one.
Go on.
Genesis 13:2. And Abraham was rich in cattle, in silver, and in gold.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the real money.
That's the real money. Not see what they've pumped into society today. These notes. That's not money.
Yeah.
It's not backed by anything. So when they crash it too, they're gonna laugh at people. When they crash these FRNs, they're gonna be laughing at you, man. Because the real wealth, they have it all.
All to themselves. Even Maya, you know, when he was coming up in his early days, you know, they gave him, he was collecting antique, like coins.
Yeah.
Old coins, and which we know is money, silver, gold.
Yeah, and he learned his skills. Read what you had.
I have information.
Well, yeah, go on.
Okay.
You read that. Yeah. See, Maya learned his skills from he went to Hanover to learn from Jacob Wolf Oppenheimer. He learned under the Oppenheimers, Maya Amschel, and then he went back to Frankfurt later on, you know, when he grew up a bit more, and basically he was already established in Germany. He said that his reputation preceded him in Germany, so they were wealthy already.
Yeah.
You know, when you see them, the elite, in the movies, you know, they act poor among the tax collectors and all that, but they were already rich. He was already one of the wealthiest men at that time, Maya Amschel. Yeah. And them ghettos they lived in were self-imposed ghettos, man, in Germany at the time. They never came from so-called, as they say, you know, like basically they've always had money. Yeah. They never came from absolutely nothing to be, do you get it? Yeah. They've always been in and around money.
Yeah.
It's not like they've just come from nothing with no idea and made it.
I have a quick
Go
point
on, bro.
on you know what you're talking about, like what true money is, gold and silver, and stuff. But here's information, right?
Yeah.
All right, and so the battle lines were drawn. Napoleon had to be destroyed at all costs. To make this possible, the Bank of England created a vast new amount of fiat money to lend. You see, because basically they like realized, bro, you have to destroy this guy like at all costs. The word fiat means let it be so. So they had to create like fake money to try and finance him, to finance, to make sure they won that war, because he was a big threat to them.
Yeah.
It says this.
Well, imagine if he so-called took over.
Yeah, don't be speaking.
Well, that's what they say. We'll be speaking German or
speaking German.
Yeah, but you see, when you go behind the scenes now, the tentacles of all these wars was them anyway. Because you have to remember when Napoleon was in his pomp, so to speak. He blocked off a lot of trade in Europe.
He did.
But who was trading behind the scenes? The Rothschilds. They were actually
the sons.
And they were actually importing, exporting things, making money. It's like the time of America. You had the time of Prohibition, where you couldn't. Alcohol was illegal, but criminals made money off it. So did elite families. The Rockefellers, damn sure would have been making money off Prohibition, because they're the ones that set the laws. And when you get that saying, go and read it. Read.
It says,
read.
And so the battle lines were drawn. Napoleon had to be destroyed at all costs. To make this possible, the Bank of England created vast new amounts of fiat money to lend to the government, so that it could finance an overpowering army. A steady stream of gold flowed out of the country to finance the armies of Russia, Prussia, and Austria. The economy staggered once again. You know what I mean? So the actual point was, you know, it's funny, that same formula is used now. They just create false money, finance war, and the economy eventually suffers. Right?
Yeah.
Hold on. Let's read a quick scripture.
That's part of their power. That's part of their power. That basically they own the riches. So part of their power is is the like the fiat currency and whatnot. Their money is part of the power. You got people, you got nations fighting to get their FRNs and all that. You know, that's how they, you know, go on, like, but then what they do is when they get you in monetary debt, you know what the elites do? They take all the resources of your land. All right, fine. Yeah. We want a portion of that. We want to buy a portion of this. Because even the Rothschilds, when you see the Rothschilds, they were heavy during the time of colonialism also. They owned a lot of those companies that was mining the silver, mining the gold, mining all of that stuff. Mining uranium. They own all of it all. Yeah, tentacles. Go on, brother.
They know what, you know, having power is what it's about. It's about being able to have power, right? So
on,
this is Proverbs 22:7. The rich ruleth over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender.
Servant to the lender. So it's called debt slavery.
Can I read this quote?
Yes, bro.
This is from Karl Rothschild, yeah, and he said this. This is what he said. He said, this is what Karl Rothschild said, right? That's the oldest. Amschel Rothschild was like the old. That's all right, because it blocks the camera, because it's recording you brothers. So it said Amschel Rothschild, which is the oldest of the 5 brothers. This is what he said, right? He said, as Jews, our fate is to buy our way through, or watch the Gentiles take the lead. That's what he said. So meaning, pretty much, what does he mean when he says that? He means buying our way through means what? We've got to basically, through our wealth, we've got to infiltrate countries. Broker them deals, underhand deals, and then what? And then put them in debts.
And like
that's what them Amalekites do.
I was just gonna say, even in that Rothschild movie, they even had a scene where, you know, they showed you, you know, Maya. He was basically saying how, you know, he was talking to his sons. Remember when he gathered his sons around, and there was a point where he started crying. Basically, he's telling them that money is the only defense they have to defend themselves.
As Jews, what did Amschel say that for the quote? He said, as Jews, our only fate is to buy our way through. Or watch the Gentiles take the lead, which they're not the real Jews, by the way.
But no, but of course,
they
ain't the real Jews, but you know, it's spiritual. Because in the law, you cannot lend usury on your neighbor. But on the heathen, you can lend. Basically,
you can do what you want.
You have them in debt slavery.
That's what they do, brother.
Which I have the law on that. This is Deuteronomy 23:19. Thou shall not lend upon usury to thy brother, the usury of money, the usury of victuals, the usury of anything that is lent upon usury. But it says, unto a stranger thou mayest lend upon usury.
So they can do what they want to you.
But that ties right into your quote, bro.
Remember, as Jews, our fate is to buy our way through, or watch the Gentiles take the lead.
Exactly. So
that's what Amschel Rothschild said.
Basically, they like they play the background but have the tentacles.
That's it.
They control.
Well, that's why. What did Maya Amschel say? I care not who makes the laws. But
who
controls the money? Read it.
He says, Maya Amschel Rothschild, and it says, let me issue and control a nation's money, and I care not who writes the laws. Yeah,
because you control the money. You really do control the laws, though. Because if you control the money, all you got to do is tell the puppet leader you have at the front. Like the Duke of Wellington, as much as he's a revered man, he was really a puppet of theirs.
And that's why he said in the Rothschild movie, he
Yeah.
actually told Nathan,
Yeah.
he said, bro, these people are thanking me for the Duke for the Battle of Waterloo. Really, man, they should thank you.
You won the war.
You won the war.
So the Duke of Wellington, as much as he is a revered man in British history, so-called English history, Edomite history, the Rothschilds are really funded him.
Yes.
You know, you've got all of this, but where's the commemoration to Nathan?
That's what I was gonna say.
You know,
it should be the Archer Rothschild. That's what it should be.
But you see, the Rothschilds, see what it is with them, those families, secrecy, and they revere amongst each other. You know what I'm saying? Yo, Nathan was great, and you know the Goyim ain't meant to know nothing about that. We just meant to know a little bits and pieces. Are they the conspiracy? Are they a wealthy family? Do they rule the world? Is it true? What is
secrecy?
Exactly.
The serpent was more subtle.
I was going to make this point as well, because even they like to hide that secrecy even to this day, because like you're saying, they got this commemoration here.
Yeah.
But how many people know what's actually behind it?
Yeah.
Even when we had Evelyn Rothschild, he was the financier of advisor of the Queen.
Yeah.
How many people, but when he passed, how many people knew about that, or even
no one even talked about it?
No one, not a voice or a squeak.
Except the brothers, and I believe there was only a few articles in the newspapers about it.
Yeah.
Like someone like that passing away.
Right.
Go on, like someone of reverence of this world.
Right.
Go ahead, but that's secrecy.
I have
Go
a
on,
quick
brother.
precept.
Yeah.
This is Proverbs 28:8.
Yeah.
And I'm going to read it in the NLT and the KJV. I read first in the KJV. He that by usury and unjust gain increaseth his substance, he shall gather it for him that will pity the poor. Now, if I read in the NLT, it says, income from charging high interest rates will end up in the pocket of someone who is kind to the poor, because Esau's got this whole world in slavery.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's the same thing. Like all wars, as we, you know, it says all wars are bankers' wars.
Yeah.
Like if you see a lot of these major conflicts, they finance both sides.
Well, even I saw something where the Rothschild family had a hand in financing Brazil's independence from Portugal, and there was a war of independence, and then Brazilian government had to pay £2 million in that time, you know, to Portugal for their independence, basically. But who was behind that? The Rothschilds. Even when you go into like the Panama Canal, who's behind that? The Rothschilds. The mining and not the mining, but the train industry, the Industrial Revolution. The Rothschilds were in that. And now, even in the Rothschilds today, for example, they're heavy into these tech industries. Yep. They own all of that. So wherever the world moves forward, their tentacles are behind owning it all, till they're brought down. Yeah. Oh, go on, because they are going down, by the way. Right. We got to go on that. We got to speak about that too.
This is their end.
This is their end. That's why we know these things through the spirit of Yahweh Shai. Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, of course. Yeah. Go on that.
Psalm 73 verse 5. They are not in trouble as other men. Like you just mentioned, everything that's booming and is continuing or being pushed forward. Who's behind it? Yeah, these elites, man. Yeah, Esau is on top, man. So if you think Esau is done away with or their seed lines perish, that's not true, man. You can literally see that Esau is on top, man, and that's the so-called white man. Yeah, he's not in trouble as other men.
Yeah,
Jake is the one that's oppressed, all poor. Yeah.
It
says neither are they played like other men. Wanted to say something?
No.
Yeah, that's it, man.
Jake is the one in poverty, in the real what they call ghettos in the corners. That's the ones that, you know, when we didn't have a choice, man. We're the ones that fit the curses as well. That's another thing. And
it ain't self-imposed.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's inflicted upon us by our enemies, man. And obviously the curses.
That's it.
That's right.
You know? Go ahead, Ak.
Got precept.
Go on, Ak.
Isaiah 29:15. Woe unto them that seek deep to hide their counsel from the Lord. Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai. Right? And woe means destruction. And as the brother, you know, rightly said, we got to talk about their downfall, man. We're in a time where these wicked elites, they're being exposed. Their history, their dark deeds.
Like, look, can I so lucky, brother? You mentioned them Jewish ghettos, so lucky, bro. Always like Jake's in the ghetto, right? In the community, bad communities and stuff. How the hell why can't Jake are the real people of the Lord? Why can't Jakes get out anywhere and make it anywhere? Why? You know what I mean? It's them that how can you be the oppressed but rule at the same time? It doesn't make sense. How the fuck can you be the oppressed but own everything? Go on, Ak.
And it says...
No, but what was you saying a minute ago? You was mentioning the point.
No. I was just saying, like, because also woe means destruction. So, like you was mentioning, you got to speak about how we're at the end of the wicked elite and Esau's kingdom, because this information's coming out. You know, a lot of people, they talk about what the Illuminati, or, you know, all them type of videos. People always are asking about that. Well, it's in the scriptures, right? The secret counsel of the wicked, right? Those that are seeking deep to hide their counsel from the Lord. Okay, so it says, and their works are in the dark. And they say, who seeth us and who knoweth us?
Works in the dark. They move in secrecy, man. Yep. Yeah. Eyes wide shut. They show you things, man. Yeah, that movie with Tom Cruise.
Yep.
Yeah. What did the guy say to Tom Cruise in that scene? If I were to tell you who's a part of these industries, like politicians and doctors, or that, you wouldn't believe it, man. Yeah. There's dark things happening behind closed doors, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And part of their secrecies as well is also they got all the symbolisms, like even with the Nike that they got on top, you know, over there as well. So all of that, they're going back to these idols that they worship, you know, the things that they put right in front of people's eyes.
And showing you it's Rome too. It's a triumphal arc. The pillars, you know, and you know that they're the Edomites because look, the man of war on a horse with swords and all that.
Look at that.
Get Revelation 6. Because these Rothschilds behind the scenes, they fund all this. they fund the wars, right? And what are they doing? They're taking peace from the planet, man, for their gain. Go on, Ek.
Revelation 6 and 4, and there went out another horse that was red, that represents Esau, man.
Yep.
And
That's the deeper level of it. The deeper level of it is who's ruling the planet, right? People say, oh, there's the government. All right, so who owns the government? It's white people. All right, cool, but who's over them? It's rich Bill Gates and all that, basically, yeah? But Bill Gates, right, and all these guys, they're peons to these elites. But guess what? The deeper level of it is they're the Edomites. They are actually Esau, and the elite families know that they're the house of Edom. Yeah. And it's no coincidence that the Rothschilds call themselves that.
Yeah.
The Red Child.
Yeah. Like
Red Shield.
Yeah. Like to add to that point, that they actually know that they're Rothschild. Our apostles always mention that book, the interview where the master plan of the
illuminated
Rothschilds. You had Marion Knox basically said the Rothschild know that they are the house of Esau, man. You know what I mean? Straight up.
Yeah.
And that shows you that they know who are the real chosen, who are the real people of the Lord, man. Because in order to tell a lie, you have to know the truth. That's it. And that's a part of their counsel as well, is to destroy us from being a nation. Right? Psalm 83. They want to cut Israel off from being a nation.
Revelation 6 again, verse 4. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth.
There you go. Yeah. Power was given unto him to take peace from the earth.
Swords, musket guns, rifles.
That's what they're about, man.
That technology was given to him, man. That's his blessing. To live by the sword in Genesis, man. Yeah. Everywhere Esau has gone, he's colonized, he's conquered, he's divided, he's raped, robbed.
And when all this was go on, read the precept. No, read the scripture.
This is Ecclesiastes 10 and 7. I've seen servants upon horses and princes walking the servants upon the earth.
Yep.
Right? And that's it, man. You know, all these Edomites are actually like praised, but that's because the Lord gave them authority to actually rule.
That's right.
But hey, it's funny. The Rothschilds, the like original surname is Bauer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which they're servants, man.
Peasants.
As peasants. But then it's funny that they basically brought out their way to
be a baron.
Well, even but even you see, even what you mentioned, that the aristocracy, a lot of lesser Edomites don't really like them.
Yeah.
But they
shows that in the movie.
It shows you that, yeah. But they worm their way in through their finances and totally demolished countries to the point where there was kings in Europe that were just being bankrolled by them.
Yeah.
Fully bankrolled by them. I believe King Louis XVIII of France, he took a loan from Nathan Rothschild of I think it was like £200,000, right? And then, but when he had to pay it back, he had to pay it back with like heavy interest.
Yep.
So he was perpetually fucked, because you had a lot of those kings in aristocracy in Europe were just getting bought out by these Rothschilds, to the point where, all right, fine, now you're at the front of the front of the imagery in your country, but we're behind the scenes, and you come to us. That's what they did.
Financial chains.
And they've done that to everyone in the world. Go on, that's just fucking Satan, man.
And that's what basically, you know, in history, when they started coming into their, you know, prominence with their financial wealth, you know, their businesses were basically booming to the point where, you know, other nations and people, they had to come to them.
Yeah.
They actually had no choice, because they got a reputation for being reliable, lending, you know, and so they basically just got their way in. And you always, you know, probably speak about how they changed their names.
There's a party, bro. Yeah, go on.
They're going down. But yeah, how they changed their names also. They go under the radar, crypto, you know, hidden. So that's how they get their way in there.
And you know the Rothschilds, right? There's you made me think about something there, because they bought their way in, like, basically got into countries and bled them dry, basically, yeah. But you know the camera was focusing. The aristocracy at the time some of them didn't want to even mess with them. Because they were calling them like basically puppet masters of corruption.
Look at that.
they're puppet masters of corruption. And then you know what the Rothschilds used to do in that time? They would use that, all the hatred that was coming against them, they would use that to push anti-Semitism.
Yeah.
Going back to the 1700s. Oh, it's anti-Semitic. That anti-Semitism thing ain't just being heard today. They've been using that, playing the victim. Here is they're destroying your country through these bonds and stealing the wealth of your economy. And when you point it out, it's anti-Semitism.
Cancel, yeah.
But they were saying that from then. Because there was like different families that didn't want to deal with their money. We don't want to, these people are corrupt, basically.
And there's a famous quote, I forget where it's from, but you know who's in power if you can't criticize them.
Yeah. And it's interesting that, you know, years down in 1917, you obviously had the Balfour Declaration.
Yeah.
Right, which was, you know, around that time was Walter Rothschild, which was the second Baron Rothschild, but he actually comes off that line of Nathan.
Yeah,
he comes from that line of Nathan.
Well, yeah, he's linked to him.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there's so many of them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the actual point I'm making is, of course, the British Parliament would like have the Balfour Declaration because they finance. You know what I mean? They finance your wars.
And you know what they said when you had have you got something on the Balfour Declaration?
Yeah,
let's read that.
It says,
because you had World War II and all that, right? This is World War II we're talking about.
The Balfour Declaration was around World War One.
World War One.
Well, just after.
But you see, when did they get the land of Israel after World War II?
Yeah. 1948.
Go on.
14. Because if you actually, like, if you follow the timeline of how the Jews got the land of Israel, it wasn't just the Balfour Declaration.
Yeah.
It was a long process from the late 1800s. You had something called the World Zionist Organization, and there was so many things. You obviously had the mandate of Palestine as well, because there was a time where the Ottoman Empire controlled Israel,
they owned it,
and then the French had it.
Well, after World War One, the Ottoman Empire were taken out of there.
Exactly.
Because that was like when the Brits and Australia and all that came against. The Ottoman Empire came to its end during World War One. Exactly. Towards the end of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
but they had that land for a long time.
Yeah, because at first, because I believe the British got the control of the land of Israel from the French first, and then it went to the British. And when the British had it, they eventually basically helped establish the state of Israel.
Through the Rothschild family.
Exactly.
And when they got the land of Israel, what was funny about that is when they got the land of Israel, proving they're not the people of the Lord. Because when they got the land of Israel, as soon as they got in there, they were given like military weapon, like leftover military weapons from like Britain and America from that time period, to give them a straight up defense straight away. And then they were even given as soon as they got up in there, they instantly got like an air force, a minor air force. As soon as they got in there, they basically were given weapons and protection straight away. Now they've got even more technology. So how can they be an oppressed people?
But what you said,
you get what I mean? How can you going back to the Holy Land, and as soon as you go back there, you've got an army, you've got everything instantly. They've got war machines instantly to protect themselves.
Yeah. Which contradicts.
They're the people of the Lord. Go on.
The book of Isaiah 2 goes against that. If I can read that.
Go on, brother. Go on.
Isaiah 2 from the top. The word that Isaiah the son of Amos saw concerning Judah and Jerusalem, and it shall come to pass in the last days, the latter days, we're living in the last days, that the mountain of the Lord's house shall be established in the top of the mountains. And that mountain, the mountains represent like you hear the word summit. Like recently there was a summit as well. What does that mean? The government heads, join for a meeting. But the government heads of Israel. That's the mountain at the top. And it says, shall be established in the top of the mountains, and shall be exalted above the hills, and all nations shall flow unto it. So Israel will be the top leading nation, and everybody is going to be beneath us, just like as it's written in Deuteronomy 7:6. Israel is above all nations. Verse 3: and many people shall go and say, come ye, and let's go up to the mountain of the Lord, to the house of a God of Jacob. So that mountain represents who? The Israelites. And he will teach us of his ways, and we will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. And here comes the part that you mentioned, the Spirit. And he shall judge among the nations and shall rebuke many people, and they shall beat their swords into plowshares.
Yeah, not get in the land of Israel and you know, have war machines.
Yeah.
Because when we get the land of Israel back, when Yahushua returns and takes these elites out, and we get back in the land, we are going to have protection, but it's going to be a heavenly protection. There's going to be chariots day and night. We're not going to have to fucking have a fortress of tanks.
Spiritual power.
Plus,
and an air force. The angels are air force, man.
And plus,
so lucky,
when we go into the land, we don't need fucking Esau's paperwork and mandate of like a long agenda of us going into that land.
There you go.
It's promised to us, and it's going to be for us, man.
You know what? Can we get that scripture when it says, you still more on that? Well, get the scripture when it says, they frame of mischief by a law. You know that one?
Yeah.
But go on, continue by that, because that's how they get you with debts and laws and, you know? Go on.
And they shall beat their swords into plowshares and their spears into pruning hooks. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they learn war anymore.
There you go.
Just like what you said for the Spirit, man.
That's prophecy, man.
Why are they still investing into military? Why are they bullying all these countries? Why is America and Great Britain still backing them in military power? The land, the state of Israel, actually. Yeah. And that's what it is. It's a state. You know.
Which exactly a state, because if you look at the actual the promised land, it extends further. You know, past Egypt, Saudi Arabia, it's actually a big portion of land, bro. You know. I got. Oh, you got the one above us. We'll go ahead.
This is Psalms 94 and verse 20. Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by a law?
That's these Edomites, man. The throne of iniquity, and it said which frameth mischief by a law, because that's how they do things. These Rothschild, that's why the Rothschilds are known. They're known corruptors among higher people with money and power in this world that are under them. They don't. A lot of them don't really even like them, but because they've got all the wealth, everyone has to go to them, so to speak. You know, because there's families in England that own land, like there's you know, they're lesser families. They're not on their level, but guess what? They're not on their level because most of them have been bought out by the Rothschilds and that. And it makes sense because the so-called Jew is the head of all Edomites. So they have, and the upper echelon of the so-called Jews, the Rothschilds, the DuPonts, the Rockefellers, they have it all basically. So even other lesser Edomites have to technically bow to them. Because even the Rothschilds, they were getting them titles of barons and things like that because they were basically owning so much that the actual other aristocracy families had to give them those titles. You know? Even it showed you that in the movie with Nathan when they went to the ceremony of the king in the end. Remember? And they give him all the titles and all that, and then they had people around. And how does it feel to be the richest man in the? But the point is, the laws, they frame of mischief by a law, man. They get in things through paperwork, funding and money, underhanded deals, and then you're fucked. Basically, you're doing deals with the devil.
Well, you know what? Information kind of adds to that point. Is the mandate for Palestine, right? Which came after the Balfour Declaration. I have a bit of information to read, right? It says the mandate for Palestine was a League of Nations mandate for British administration of the territories of Palestine, which compromises that land of Israel, and the Transjordan, both of which had been conceded by the Ottoman Empire following.
Because they lost that war.
Exactly. Following the end of World War I, right? Now, if you skip down, right, because when that mandate came into pass, right, it says. In Palestine, the mandate required Britain to put in effect the Balfour Declaration's national home for the Jewish people, alongside the Palestinian Arabs. So that actually proves that the Rothschild had a hand in it. Because the Balfour Declaration was before the mandate of Palestine. So when the mandate of Palestine came, now they're like, okay, that agreement that you had with Rothschild, now it can
Be implemented.
Yeah, to seek to establish like a Jewish
Because
state.
even one thing I saw with the Rothschilds said that they were where they basically they weren't just about hoarding wealth for themselves, so to speak. They wanted to further the improvement of the Jewish community.
I got more in that.
Read it, because that's why you see the lesser Amalekites. They're more protected than your average cracker. And even though they might not be a Rothschild, they might not be a Rockefeller or whatever, but the average Amalekite is more safe in society than an average Edomite, and they're way more safer than us because we're at the bottom. Who cares? They don't care what they do with us.
That's right, man.
And we're the real people.
You're right.
You know,
lesser Amalekites. Own police force, own section of the hospitals. They're looked after, man.
That's because their elites have, trickled down a little favor to them. Go on.
It says,
the ADO, so it shows you that they're protected.
Yeah.
It says, this is a different Rothschild, but it's funny how when you research the state of Israel and like how they got into power, you see Rothschild here.
Well, they've got names of roads over there, after the Rothschild family. They've got names of roads. I can't remember the particular name. It might be Rothschild. I can't remember what it is, but they got names of roads over there.
Right.
Those families.
It says, so this is a different Rothschild. Baron Abraham Edmund Benjamin James de Rothschild, right, was a French member of the Rothschild banking family, a strong supporter of Zionism, which again, it was them getting the land, which started from the 1800s, late 1800s, right, was a strong supporter of Zionism. His large donations lent significant support to the movement during the early years, which helped lead the establishment of the state of Israel.
Funding, always funding.
Where he is simply known as the Baron Rothschild.
Yep.
You see? So
Yeah, because they fund the state of Israel. They even, like, I was seeing something. See, all these Amalekites, like with money and wealth in this world, they pay money to the Israeli government. Like a lot of them Amalekite criminals. I believe there was one Amalekite criminal. I think his name might be Meyer Lansky. He was like the banker to the American mafia. You see the American mafia, you see the Italians, and Hollywood will always show you the greaseball paisans and all that. The greaseball, so-called, the paisans. Hollywood will show you the Italians as the criminals, but Amalek's over them. Because you had the commission in America. They said the commission was like the 5 families, but their banker was a Jew. I believe it's that Meyer Lansky, the one that really the head of them was a so-called Jew that they dealt their money with. And I believe Meyer Lansky, I saw something with him before, it said that he would pay tithes back to Israel. He would pay money to the state of Israel, a portion of his money. So a lot of rich Amalekites, they do that. They pay a portion to keep that state going. Not just obviously
it's been going for a long time.
And it's been going for a long time. Now the elite families, they definitely pay a portion to keep that state going.
I have a precept, a point more in this article. It says,
go to now, you rich man.
It says, and get Ezekiel, all I do me that I've appointed my land, Ezekiel 6. It says, in his goal, so this is talking about the same guy you mentioned, in his goal for the establishment of a Jewish homeland, he promoted industrialization and economic development. In 1924, he established the Palestine Jewish Colonization Association, which acquired more than 125 acres of land and set up business ventures. So what they did was, before the state of Israel got established in 1948, they was buying up land anyway. They was buying up land anyway. So it shows you, and remember,
it was all part of the plan, man.
It started with the World Zionist organization in the 1800s. You got the Balfour Declaration, and it's all linked to the British Parliament.
It's all because who owns the British Parliament?
Really, the Rothschilds.
Exactly. Because even I saw something where it said
when Nathan Meyer,
I was seeing something when it said with the World War II, Hitler, that his armies invaded Austria and all that, and they were taking Rothschild estates and all that. And it said when they came into France, they went, because the Rothschilds are heavy into art, expensive art. and said when they went into France, they confiscated all the artwork from France, basically all the Rothschild art. The German army confiscated it all because you know the Jews were oppressed at that time.
Yeah.
But hold on, Hitler was nothing but set up by them.
Yeah. Well,
and hold on,
he was a Rothschild anyway.
And you know what? What was funny? I was laughing. I was like, people think that Hitler was really against the Jews and all that. And what I was laughing was, they say he confiscated all the Rothschild art in France.
Yeah.
Well, where is it today then? Where is all that art then? So wait, did someone get it back? They own it, bro. Nothing was ever taken. The World War I and II was all part of their plan.
Yep.
You see? And then over time, what they did, a lot of them Rothschilds did, they hid their name more by just privatizing what they do, basically. You know, they bought into more private companies and what, you know what I'm saying? Privatize, yeah, so then they can hide their name more and more, basically.
Yeah, and
you know, because at one point it was like Rothschild Bank in Naples, Rothschild Bank, their name was big in that period. But over time, they devised more ways to even hide their name. How do they do that? Just buying out things, and basically you don't know it's them that own it pretty much. They have to put their name on it. Secrecy.
Yeah, we answer your point because remember, right after World War I, the Balfour Declaration and you know getting the mandate of Palestine, everything was established was on that plan.
Yeah.
As soon as the British had control of Palestine, there was like you know, they was basically trying to start the process of them getting that land.
Yep.
So when again, it's funny how again, like you know how you got the Duke of Wellington and such. Oh yeah, he's so great. Man, it should be the Arch of Rothschild.
Yeah.
You know.
It's true. The Arch of Rothschild. Yeah. Hey, I might as well. Did you have a scripture, Act?
Yes.
Go on, Act.
I got the one you asked for.
Go on, Act. Yeah,
This
exactly.
is James 5.
Yep.
And the heading is called Misuse of Riches.
Yeah.
From the top, go to now, ye rich men.
Misuse of riches.
Yes,
yeah.
Yeah, misuse of riches.
Yeah.
Go to now, ye rich men.
Yeah.
Weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you. And who's the rich man upon the earth now? It's Esau, man. Yeah.
These bankers.
Bankers, man. The elite families. Rothschilds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your riches are corrupted and your garments are moth-eaten. Why is their riches corrupted? Yeah, because they usury, you mentioned usury, you know, bribing, buying things out, you know, being mischievous with their money.
Like, actually, this whole society is based on debt and fake money.
That's it, you know? Yeah, fake money. You know?
Which is really witchcraft. Yeah. Like the whole system of fiat currency it's just poof. Yeah. Like, you know, if you go and get a bank loan or a credit card,
that's all it is.
They made new money that moment.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's not like this like money in the bank they give you now.
No.
By you agreeing to pay that debt, they just have to just make it happen, man. Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
Got more than that?
Yeah, there's more than that. Yeah, so
it's true, you're just paying an invisible sum.
They just make it and say,
there you go.
Now you have to pay.
Yeah, rich is corrupt, so they got even got blood money from slavery.
Yep.
Yeah, you got money from wars.
Yep.
Yeah, they always benefit.
Yep.
Your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you. So it's gonna backfire, man. You know, everything they did to get that money is gonna backfire on them, man. Yeah. This scripture where it says, you know, they're gonna vomit up the.
You swallow down riches.
Yeah. And shall eat your flesh as it with fire. You have heaped treasure together for the last day.
Yeah, get a few more closing ones. Hey, but it said they heap treasures for the last days.
Last days.
So remember, all this the game that's been played by the elites, right? The chessboard, they're hoarding, but for the last days, because we're gonna get that all back. Remember, Yahweh Shai, his first slaves are. In fact, you can read that. Let him get it. Let Isaiah get it. His first slaves are gonna be the families, the banking families.
Yes.
Though they hide themselves, you know. So Yahweh Shai's first slaves are gonna be the banking families, bro.
To bind their kings with chains.
So they've hoarded all those riches through theft and robbery and deceit and murder and all that. But they're gonna give it all that back, bro.
Yeah.
That's all coming back to the hands of. That's coming back to Yahweh Shai first. All right.
I've got Psalms 147.
Brother, ask for this.
This is Psalms 149 and verse 5. Let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds. Let the high praises of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai be in their mouth. And
Get the one, then shall they be pulled from the rock on, right?
And a two-edged sword
Carmel.
in their hand. Right, so basically, you know, that's justice.
Yeah.
You know, the saints are the Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, the true chosen of the Lord. And the Lord's coming back to bring justice, man, vengeance, and they're gonna actually repay their enemies, man.
Yeah, because and another thing these devils have done, you're right, they're gonna two-edged sword in their hands, bro. And another thing they've done is identity theft. They've said they're Judah. Their self-imposed ghettos in Germany. I can't remember, they called it Judassen Lane or something. It was like the lane of the Judah lane, and they lived in deprived conditions in the Holy Roman German. It was called the Holy Roman Empire then, Germany. They lived in deprived conditions, and you know what? The funny thing is, in that time period, Jake was in slavery in America.
Yeah, exactly.
And getting taken down in Europe, because even when they were still even when the Rothschilds were in Frankfurt, it was still under the Holy Roman Empire, because it was what, the 1700s and whatnot. You still had Jake still on thrones, but the power was dwindled. Because even when you go into William of Orange, he was funded by Amalekites, so they were like they were doing that with Jake kings, and slowly just getting them off them thrones, bro.
Have a
No?
quick one.
Go ahead,
Job 20 and 50.
because it was the 1700s. Why was it Germany at that time was still called the Holy Roman Empire?
Yeah.
So you know you'd still had Jake in seats. Jake was around in the towns. Jake was there.
Yeah.
You know.
That's Revelation, the 20th chapter, because because you know, like, you know, once 1,000 years came to an end, he was slowly like still taking over. You know what I mean? This is Job 20 and 15. He have swallowed down riches, and he shall vomit them up again, and the Most High shall cast them out of his belly. Now when a person vomits, it's involuntary, it's violent, it's quick. So meaning, so that's what's gotta happen, man. You know, the Lord going basically just take him out, man. And that's why. If you don't
That's
mind,
the end of his chapter, man. Good riddance.
If you don't mind, if I can get a quick scripture as well,
Go on.
right? That's why it says this. Revelation 6 and 14. Sorry, 15. And the kings of the earth, and the great men, and the rich men, right? These Rothschilds, bankers, and the various different families, and the rich men, and the chief captains, and the mighty men, and every bondman, and every free man, hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains, and said to the mountains and to the rocks, fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, and from the wrath of the Lamb.
Yahushua.
That's right.
He's taking them out.
Return.
Yeah, so you got like the puppet masters, so to speak, the Jacobs, the this, the that. We know who they are.
Yeah.
See, in this world now, for example, the average goyim, no, they're just rich families.
Yeah.
You know, I saw one thing where they estimated Jacob Rothschild was only worth 5 billion. I was like laughing, 5 billion.
Yeah.
They's guys are like they're beyond money.
Yeah, it's liquid.
They're actually beyond gold and silver.
Yeah, they're actually beyond.
That's how much of it they've got. Which really comes from the Lord anyway. But they've hoarded the most of it on the planet.
Like their actual wealth is a system.
Yeah.
Like their whole wealth. Like you see
this whole society, nothing functions without them.
Yeah. It says
the trains, the cars you drive, the planes you're in, it's all owned by them.
It's actually their
money. It is the system. They are Esau. When it says Esau will rule, have the fatness of the earth, they're actually the pinnacle of Esau.
Yeah.
That's them.
And it says
they've got the fatness of everything, bro.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
It says, for the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? Now, that's why the scripture says, thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels. Right? So in these secret chambers, these secret councils, they're actually afraid. Because this scripture says here that when the Lord comes back, they're actually going to hide in them underground bunkers. Now, again, if the scripture is saying this about them and they're wiser than Daniel, they know this is talking about them. The Rothschilds and all the elites, they know the scriptures, and they know that like that interview, the master plan of the Illuminated Rothschilds, they know that they're of the house of Esau. So they know that the Lord is coming.
They know the
back
Lord's
for them.
coming.
So that's why you have things like CERN and stuff trying to contact the spirit world, trying to, you know, get power to try and fight the Lord. That's why you got the Star Wars program. Really, all of them programs, bro. Like, it's like it's bigger than governments, you know, trying to fight the Lord when they come back. No, it's bigger than that. Because really, them elites want to fight the Lord when he comes back.
That's their vain imagination.
That's their
isn't it?
vain imagination.
That's how pumped up they've gotten.
Exactly.
Afraid
No?
of us fight.
Anyway.
Because I'm sure if you was, you know, which I haven't, I'm sure if you go into the research, I'm sure I won't be surprised somewhere in that Star Wars pro, you know what I mean, program, that you probably got like a Rothschild somewhere in there. Like at the back, you know.
I was just gonna say, because like you're saying, they know they're
Be the
looking out
last
there
one after, yeah.
because they know the Lord's coming back with what, the army of angels,
To
man,
take him down.
with the chariots. You know, behold, he comes with clouds. All right, that's those chariots, and then the angels the Lord's gonna invade this earth with, especially America, Babylon, which will be destroyed by missiles.
Right.
Yep.
This is the prophecies that the scriptures speak about at the end of the age of Esau, man.
Yeah.
Which, and at the end of it, they're going in slavery, and they can't avoid it. They know it, man. Which, if I just have the last bit on Psalms 149, and it says to execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people, to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron.
That's their nobles, are these families.
Yeah.
And when we talk about the nobles, it's not just Prince Harry, not Prince Harry, because he's a Jake. So like, we think more, maybe Lord willing, he probably is a Jake, Prince Harry. He's different to that other one, William. But yeah, when it says to bind up their nobles, it's not, you know, I was thinking of Prince William. Prince William, yeah, they're the nobles, but it's really the super elites. Because the super elite, yeah, there you go. There you go. That's Evelyn, right? He's passed away. And that's him with Prince Charles. So that's the nobles. Prince Charles is a noble, but it's those guys are the real elites.
That's why he can put his finger in them like that.
There you go.
That's a symbol of power. Who's in power? What does that show you? I'm telling you what to do.
There you go.
There you go.
So that's who the Lord, when he comes back, he's putting, read that part again, that last part.
It says, it's to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron.
That's it.
And that's righteous, man. We're supposed to want that. We're supposed to want, justice for what happened to our people, the slavery they put us through. Because they were happy when we went down. So how are we not going to be happy that they're going down, man? This is the end of our oppression. So we're going to be hastening the day for that, man. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, brother, have you got any point you got the last one, yeah? Go ahead, yeah, brother.
Revelations 19:11.
That's it, man.
And the title's called The Coming of Yahweh Shai. And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse, representing pure power, a chariot. And he that sat upon him was called Faithful and True. And in righteousness he doth judge and make war. You know, the Lord's going to enter into the house of the thief, man. Yeah, and who owns this world right now? Esau, man. Yeah, these elites. His eyes were as a flame of fire, and on his head were many crowns. Yeah, because that's showing you that the Lord's going to take power from this earth, take power from Esau. It ain't going to be a negotiation. Yeah, it ain't going to be like Kal-El Superman coming to the courtroom in handcuffs. Yeah, and he had a name written that no man knew but himself, and he was clothed with a vesture dipped in blood. And his name is called the Word of the Most High, the Word of God. And he's the walking Word, man. Word that came true, the flesh. And the armies which were in heaven followed him upon white horses, chariots, clothed in fine linen, white and clean. So what you got to visualize is like the movie Independence Day. But this is the real Independence Day where Yahweh Shai, the angels, and the elect of Israel are winning. Yeah, America is the one that loses. Babylon the Great loses, and all the rest of these heathen are going to fall flat. And be forced to bow down to Yahweh Shai or get laid out. Yeah. And it says, and out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it shall smite the nations. Laser beams getting zapped to death like War of the Worlds. Yeah. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron, and he treadeth the winepress of fierceness of a wrath of the Almighty God. And he having his vesh and his fire name written, King of Kings and Lord of Lords. So the true King, the true Lord is Yahweh Shai, man.
That's right.
You know? Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's it, man.
That's right. So, brother, you got somewhere? You want anything else you want to bring out? So yeah, you know, brothers, we just, you know, we just said we were gonna come to this area basically, and you see here that's the Duke of Wellington on the high horse over up there, man.
Oh, for Wellesley.
Yeah, on that high horse right there, and over there is, you know, the Ark of Triumph they built for him. All right.
Scripture says the triumph of the wicked is short.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. You know. So hey, Lord willing, man. You know, Lord willing, that was, you know, edifying. You know. And you know, with that, we're gonna say all praises unto Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem Rakak Kodash. Double honors unto our apostles and elders of Great Millstone. And shalom to the hopeful elect Akim out there, man. You know, stay strong, brothers. Shalom.
Hey, bro, that's spiritual, man.
Shalom.
That's spiritual, man. The light was temporary off, soon as the Lord thing to turn back on.